Hello everybody, my name is Sniping is Fun, and I was going to be doing a quick little update video here today. I did this in the past. I know I did a lot of these videos in the past, like showing updates to my stuff and showing my collections and showing my stuff, but I haven't done that in years, and quite frankly over the years it kind of has been building up a little bit, and I never really did a video specifically on this collection, because back then I did a ton of different game collection type videos, but I never really did like an anime collection video. I wanted to do this just to kind of show all my, followers on YouTube, anyone that watches me on YouTube, my subscribers and whatnot, my current anime collection. And this will be in multiple parts because I don't want to be doing a big 30-40 minute video for you guys to watch, because no one really wants to sit through that. So each part's going to be about 10 minutes or so. I'm going to try to show as much as I can each part, maybe about 3 or 4 parts. It should be done. And that's about it, because I just want to show you, because, I keep saying I'm a big anime fan, and talk about the anime I love and whatnot, but I've never showed, I've showed on Facebook numerous times for various pictures I've taken over the years, as I've gotten collections, gotten stuff to add to my collection and whatnot, but I've never actually really, showed any of it off on YouTube, except for maybe a few videos here and there, like my update videos back in the day showing a few, I got this in my collection of this, but I haven't really done anything recent, so, there's that. And I'm going to start that. And this is mainly an anime collection, as in Japanese anime, but I have left a few of my various animation stuff that's not really anime related in these piles, in these containers, because it basically, I fit it in the same category, and I like to keep it with the collection. So we're going to start off here on this pile right here. I do have a couple episodes of the original Speed Racer from the 60s, Volume 4, which is basically like 8 episodes or so. I do love Speed Racer. It was one of the first animes I ever watched. I like, even though it's outdated now, it's, you can tell by the animation, it definitely speaks like for the 60s and whatnot. I need to get the rest of the series, but I like it because I like the intro. I grew up with it. I like the characters and the story. It's basic, but that's kind of like what the anime was back then for the most part. And I grew up with the story. I like the universe and the characters. I just need to find, more of that. Here's another anime I bought, Baldur Forest X. Now, this series I have not watched yet. I got it over this past summer when Walmart was having its like a big summer anime sale. I got it for like $5. It's a complete series, which I've never actually seen it, but I like sci-fi type stuff, adventurous sci-fi, fantasy, type things. Not just anime, but anything for that matter. And I looked at this and I see this cool looking art style and characters and whatnot. I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna give it a chance. $5. If I don't like it, well, I don't really miss much from it. I don't really lose out too much from it. And then right here, I have the complete Tenchi Muyo War on Gemini Blu-ray DVD combo pack collection. Now, I got this around the time, I think, when they first brought it out. And yes, the price is kind of right. I spent about $40 there. And this is part 1 and part 2. And they come together or separate or whatever. And I just took out the DVD Blu-ray from here. This is empty now. And I put them both in here because it's like, oh, well, this is where part 2 goes. This is where part 1 goes. So they give you the box if you buy it all together, to get the complete collection, stick it all in one thing. But I have not watched Tenchi Muyo War on Gemini yet. I've seen other various Tenchi shows. I'm holding this series off till I watch everything else, which I grew up watching. Tenchi Muyo, when it was back on Toonami, I didn't watch it as religiously as, say, like a Dragon Ball Z or a Sailor Moon, but I did watch Tenchi Muyo back then, here and there, and I've been wanting to get into watching the series, and since, the summer of 2013, I've been watching series here and there just to catch myself up through, my own collection and, Hulu and whatnot. But yeah, this is War on Gemini. This is the series that takes place, far at the end of, the main timeline with, Tenchi Masaki's younger brother, Kenshi. And it seems more like space oriented, not on Earth, I don't think. So I'm going to give that a shot, and I'm really looking forward to it this year because I'm going to be getting to that sometime this year. Dragon Ball Z, Battle of Gods. I love me some Dragon Ball Z, one of the newest movies they brought out, a couple of years ago. Awesome movie. Not much else to really say about that. It's freaking Dragon Ball Z. Here we go. Devil is a Part-Timer. Now, I basically knew nothing about this show when I bought the collection. When I bought this right here from Best Buy, it was on sale. Normally, it would go for $40, $50. And I'm the series is not that long. It's 13 episodes or so. And it was on sale. I'm like, you know what? I'm going to jump in. This looks interesting. I think I might have seen this series somewhere before. I'm interested in trying it out. You know what? I'm going to give it a shot. And I did end up watching it, not my Blu-ray DVD here, but I have watched it on Netflix, and I love it. It's so hilarious and so funny. I love the story. And if you've seen my top 10 anime in their season, that needs another season so flipping badly. And then right here, it's all one series, even though I don't have all of it just yet, but I do have the first 3 parts to Rama One Half. I love me some Rama One Half. I didn't get into it back in the day when it was first released. I think it was released in the early 90s, late 80s. I don't remember watching it, but I do remember watching it since when I first got into college back in 2000, 8-ish, 9-ish. I did watch many of these episodes on YouTube. The comedy is pretty interesting. The concept of the cursed springs and transforming stuff was kind of interesting. I have to admit, at first when I watched the series, the whole transforming between male and female thing that Rama has, and that's if you have never seen the series, the first 2 are Rama, female Rama, male Rama. It was kind of weird at first, but you get used to it. You get used to the comedy on it. And this was, for those of you who have never seen the series, was an anime that was made, a manga that was made before Inuyasha, by the same creator of Inuyasha, and you can kind of see in the art style, it does kind of have a very similar look to it. And I am looking forward to getting back to it, because I've watched the majority of that series, mostly the first couple seasons, episodes, but I've never seen all of it. There's still I don't know, maybe 40 episodes I've left to watch. I've never seen the entire thing. And over here we have Mar. This is part 2, I think. Only has 4 episodes on it. I've never actually seen this. This was actually a gift I watched, and I've not watched it yet, because I've been wanting to find a way to get, multiple parts to it, more parts to it than just, this part, so I can have a starting point. I don't know if it's on, Netflix or Hulu or anything, Crunchyroll or whatever, but I'm going to get into this. This is on my list to get into soon for my collection. I don't know how soon, but it's eventually going to happen. This is the XMen animated series, which isn't specifically an anime. Like I mentioned before, there's some in there that aren't specifically anime. But it has a very anime art style, and I'm sure the creators of it was basically, Madhouse, Studio Madhouse. So it was made by a Japanese anime company, but it's not really a Japanese anime license type thing. And I do remember watching the bits and pieces of this on Crackle before, I think, or something. But I haven't watched every single episode of that yet. So, and I bought that from I think a dollar store or something, and it was $8, so it's pretty much the entire series, I think. And then here's another Tenchi show, Tenchi Muyo Tenchi in Tokyo. Now people, when it comes to Tenchi in Tokyo, this seems to be the redheaded stepchild of the series. Not many people really seem to like the series, or they like it the least. I'd say it's not one of the best Tenchi series, but it was enjoyable. I like the villain. The villain in this series is a really interesting villain, and the characters are pretty much the same you would see in the OVA or Ryoki or Universe or whatever. It's just it's a different story, different time period in the story that takes place, what would happen after they initially meet, when Tenchi goes to college and whatnot, why he's going to Tokyo. And it's just, I thought it was interesting. It's not the best, but, it doesn't deserve the hate that it really gets. And then over here, we got 2 big piles, essentially, of Studio Ghibli movies. The big granddaddy of, the Japanese Disney. Now, I own most of the Tenchi movie, okay, I'm still over there talking about this thing. Most of the Studio Ghibli movies, there's a few I still need to go out and buy. I've been making it my goal to really buy all these movies, and I'm still missing a few because I really love the Studio Ghibli movies. Their movies are so beautiful, wonderful, and designed so well. I love them so much. Even the ones that I don't like a whole lot, I don't like the most, I still like a lot because their movies are so enjoyable. Here's Poco, which I did not see until last year sometime. This movie came out in the 80, I think 80 what? Early 90s? Forgot now. But I've never seen it. And it's not my favorite Studio Ghibli movie, but I like the whole concept of the raccoon type characters, and it is an interesting movie, interesting take on nature, which is different than I think some Studio Ghibli movies. Tales from Earthsea, which is another movie I only saw recently. And it's based off old story books and whatnot. And it's a big fantasy. It's a really fantasy-oriented, like, you know, Ghibli movie. And I actually quite like the characters and the villain and the story in that. Seagrove of the Varietti was an extremely beautiful movie. I quite liked it a lot. And I like the concept because it's like, you know, like the Wanderers. That's what this was based off of. And it's a really interesting story seeing like different worlds, how small people like that, you know, live like in like the house and whatnot, live in the world, and how humans I feel would interact with them if they knew about them and whatnot. And from Up on Poppy Hill, I actually really like this movie. I can't say much more about that. I actually really liked it a lot. You know, it was one of Goro Miyazaki's movies, which is the same as when I talked about Tales of Earthsea. You know, Hayao Miyazaki's son, and people say he needs to work on, you know, improve. He's not his dad's level yet. Obviously, he wouldn't be. He's only started like how many years ago? But this was one of his movies that he directed, and I like both of them. He's getting there. If he keeps it up and keeps working hard, he's going to be his dad in some time. I really quite liked it. Like 1960s Japan. Tale of the Princess Kaguya. This movie was extremely beautiful. Like really, really good movie. I like the art style. Like a lot of people, like I remember hearing, like seeing especially on YouTube trailers and whatnot, didn't really like it because of the art style. But it's like, you know, Japanese, you know, paintings and whatnot. Like it's based off of a legend, a tale that, you know, the bamboo cutter and whatnot. And it is an emotional movie for those who are used to, especially like their you know, Grave of the Fireflies. This is in that camp, I would really say, because by the end it is kind of emotional. Maybe not on Grave of the Fireflies level, but pretty close. Porco Rosso, another classic. Awesome characters, awesome universe, really well told story. I really liked it. And this is another one like I have only seen recently, which this entire pile I have it separated for a reason. These are the ones I only saw recently, and these are all the ones I basically saw years ago. So yeah, there's that. And The Wind Rises, which was basically the big granddaddy finale for Hayao Miyazaki, although technically he said he's coming back now out of retirement. Okay, but this was his big spectacle back in 2014, I believe. Yeah, about like 1940s Japan, like, you know, making airplanes and whatnot. It was a really beautiful movie, and I really quite liked it. But Studio Ghibli, you cannot really go wrong with Studio Ghibli. So even their worst movies are good. They've never really had a bad one. And that's it for part one. I don't want to make these too long, so this is about 13 minutes or so now, and that's going to be the end of part one. And when I start part two, we're going to jump right into this pile. See you all later. My name is Son. Peace. Please subscribe if you want to, and stay tuned for part two.